Help me reach 9,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. She did it at Marcus's barbecue. I was flipping burgers. Jenna slid in with a grin, tipped her beer toward my hands, and said, "Don't worry, guys. He's safe with fire if you keep the instructions taped to his forehead." The table laughed. I tossed a line back about her GPS needing directions in our own neighborhood, got a few chuckles, and moved on. If I'd known where this was headed, I would have shut it down right there. Next morning in the kitchen, I poured coffee and watched her scroll. About last night, I started. "What now?" She didn't look up. "You turned me into the party game." It was a joke. Marcus laughed. She slid the phone away and reached for the toaster. "You can take a joke, right?" "I can. I won't play mascot." I took a sip. "We're done hosting your coworker mixers. If people want to hang out, we do smaller. And private stories stay private." Wow. New rules before breakfast. Her eyebrows went high. New rules before this becomes a habit. I kept my tone even. "And I'm driving separate to the next thing. If it gets sloppy, I leave." "So you're punishing me." "Call it prevention." I pushed the coffee across the counter toward her, offered without drama. "We're not repeating last night." She laughed once, quick, like a sneeze. "Relax, Jack. You're acting like I threw you under a bus." You nudged me toward it. She rolled her eyes and bit into toast. "Fine. No more jokes. Beat. Unless they're actually good." I picked up my keys. The bar is higher than actually good. At the office, Nate leaned in the doorway of my cubicle, drummed his fingers on the frame, and grinned. "Heard you turned into a cooking show last night." "You heard wrong." Alicia posted a picture. Jenna's caption was something like, "My guy can grill if we label the knobs." I closed the spreadsheet. I'm moving our stuff back to closed doors. I'll show up, be polite. If it turns into open mic night, I'm out. "You sure you want to pick that hill?" "I'm not picking a hill. I'm choosing dignity." "Fair." He tapped the frame again. "You want me at your back if she throws another one?" "I don't need backup. I need quiet." I turned to the monitor. It was the signal. Conversation over. That Friday was the first test. Jenna had a happy hour with her team at a bar near the river. I drove separate, parked 2 blocks away, and walked in on the late side. Her coworkers were clustered around a high table. Jenna had the spotlight, eyes bright, hands moving. "There he is," she said, as if she'd rehearsed the line. "Mister, I'll fix the shelf committee. That shelf still leans like a drunk." A few people laughed. One woman winced. I set my hands on the back of an empty chair and waited. No smile. "You done?" I kept my voice steady. "Don't be sensitive," she replied. "We're unwinding. Keep my name out of your routine." I nodded to the group. "I'll buy a round and head out." A guy in a blazer tried smoothing it. "We're just messing around." "I'm not." I flagged the bartender, paid for a round, looked at Jenna. "I'm leaving. Ride with me or stay. Your call." She folded her arms. "You're seriously walking out over that?" "I'm walking out to avoid something worse." I slid a 20 to the server for the tab's tip and nodded to the group again. "Enjoy." On the sidewalk, I felt the night air and the first real shift. I wasn't fuming. I wasn't plotting. I was moving. In the truck, my phone buzzed. Her text. "Okay, maybe too far. Are you okay?" "Home." "You." "Staying." "It's networking." Then network. An hour later, she came in soft, set a slice of pecan pie on the table, and rested her palm on my shoulder. "Truce. Tomorrow morning. Talk then." She exhaled through her nose. "Fine. But you should know, everyone thought you were intense. Everyone can manage." Next morning, I moved 2 things off our shared calendar: the monthly open house Sundays and a group trivia night. When she came downstairs, hair tied up, she glanced at the phone on the counter and frowned. "Why did you cancel trivia?" "I'm done volunteering for the stage." "Since when do you control the calendar?" "Since the calendar started insulting me." I slid the phone toward her. "If you want to plan something, we plan it together. Smaller, shorter, clear lines." "So I get curfew now?" Sarcasm again, lazy. "You get options. Pick the ones that don't involve me as material." She watched me for a beat, then softened her tone. "Look, I shouldn't have said the shelf thing. It was cheap. I got nervous. And jokes are how I talk when I'm nervous. That's a story. I'm interested in behavior." "I'm sorry." She put her hands up. "Happy. It's a start." I filled my travel mug. "I'm going to Marcus's shop this afternoon. Tune-ups." If you want dinner later, great. No crowds. Fine. She glanced at the calendar again. But your birthday is in 3 weeks. I already booked a lane at the bowling place. Everyone's excited. Keep it small. 10, maybe 12. No speeches. No jokes. She crossed her heart like a kid. Promise. I nodded. We'll see. At Marcus's place, the garage he and his brother kept as a side lot hustle, the lift sang, and the radio hummed low. Oil, metal, sweat, the honest kind. Marcus handed me a rag. Alicia says Jenna texted the group. She said you were bringing the rules now. I'm bringing peace. Marcus smirked. Same thing if people are grown. He watched me loosen a stubborn bolt, then cocked his head. She's been chasing laughs for a year. New friends at her office, that team of hers. You think this is about them? Attention. Control. Both. I wiped my hands. She used to tease gently. It turned sharp. New audience. You going to put it back dull? I'm going to remove the knife from the table. He chuckled. You sound like my uncle. Your uncle's still married? 40 years. Then he can preach. I scheduled my days tighter. Earlier gym, later nights at the shop, said no to 2 invites without explaining. Jenna pivoted. She started packing my lunch again, small notes with drawings in the bag. She touched my arm in the kitchen and asked about my day. A soft turn. I didn't push it away, but I watched the edges. One Saturday, she slid into the booth across from me at a diner, chin set like she'd rehearsed. Okay, I talked to Kelly about Friday. She said I crossed a line. So, I'm making a move. Birthday stays small. And it's your people, not mine. I heard the promise. It's more than a promise. She nudged a folded slip of paper across the table. Guest list. No amplifiers. No microphone. You wrote no microphone on a list? I almost smiled. She shrugged. I did. That week was calm. We were careful with each other. I let a few things slide. She made dinner twice and skipped her team's midweek outing. She seemed to get it. 2 nights before my birthday, she played the second card. We were on the couch, the game on mute. She leaned into me, voice low. I called your dad. He's coming out. I also invited Nate. You lit up when I mentioned him last time. You promised small. This is small. It's for you. Let's keep it clean then. Clean. She leaned her head on my shoulder. You'll like it. It felt like a sincere move. It also felt like a setup for a bigger room. I kept my plan anyway. Separate car, time cap, leave at the first sign. If it stayed respectful, fine. If not, I'd cut air to the whole operation. Post-event drinks, after party, everything. The night arrived. Bowling alley on Maple. Half the lanes humming. The smell of pizza and shoe spray and cheap cologne. My dad stood near the ball return in a jacket too heavy for the room, smiling in that quiet way he had. Nate waved from the snack counter. Marcus was there with Alicia, a few of Jenna's colleagues I didn't know well, and 2 neighbors. Not huge. Manageable. Jenna greeted me with a hug, big and showy. Birthday man. She kissed my cheek. You made it. And you're early. Look at you. I drive my own schedule. I glanced around. Looks all right. It will be. She squeezed my hand. Trust me. Game 1 went fine. People laughed at normal things. Gutter balls, a weird dance when someone got a spare. I relaxed a notch. It felt safe. Then Jenna climbed onto a low riser near the snack bar, lifted a paper cup, and clapped for attention. 2 minutes, she said. No microphone. She winked at me. I promised. I raised a hand, palm flat. Keep it short. She grinned at the crowd. I want to honor Jack tonight. We all know he's the responsible one. The man who reads manuals. The guy who files warranty cards. The man who... She paused, letting the room love her. Once taped an Allen wrench to the shelf because he kept losing it. A few laughs. Harmless. Then she kept going. But seriously, if you ever need to find Jack, just follow the trail of receipts and safety goggles. He practices smiling in the mirror before parties. He has a reminder on his phone to schedule fun. He times his fun. Marcus's smile died. Alicia looked down. I felt my shoulders tense, but kept still. Jenna tilted her head, went for the closer. And let's not forget the birthday boy's favorite hobby. Keeping a spreadsheet of all the house projects he might start one day if courage finds him. I stepped forward. Enough. A neighbor whispered to the other. My dad's face went blank. Jenna waved a hand. Relax. It's cute. You're crossing the line, I said, clear. I'm done with it. She gave me that half smile she used when she thought she was in control. If you don't like my rough jokes, grow up. If you can't talk like a person, find yourself a clown. I took my keys from my pocket, wallet from the other. I'm leaving. She blinked, thrown for a second. You're not serious. I'm serious. I turned to the group. Thank you for coming. Games are covered. Enjoy your night. My dad moved toward me. Son, I'm okay, I told him. I'll call you tomorrow. Nate stepped close. You want company? I want quiet. I clasped his shoulder. Thanks for being here. Jenna tried to pivot. Her voice brightened too fast. He's being dramatic, guys. Sit down. I have more. I looked at the room, then back at her. We're done. Outside, the night hit like a cold towel. I stood still for 10 seconds, then headed to the lot. In the truck, I checked hotels on my phone and booked a room at a business place off the highway. On the way, I canceled the after-party Jenna had hinted at. One message to the group. After-party is off. Thanks for celebrating early. No excuses. In the room, neat bed, louder air unit than it needed. I laid my wallet and keys on the desk and stared at the ceiling. Not angry, just done playing. I put my phone face down, then changed my mind and flipped it over so I could see the screen. It lit up every minute. Jenna. Unknown numbers. Alicia. My dad. Marcus. I answered none. I wrote a note on the hotel pad. 1. No public shots, ever. 2. Separate rides, always. 3. Smaller rooms. 4. Leave once, no warning. 5. If she pushes past it again, I end it. Around midnight, my phone stopped buzzing. Around 1, I slept. By 7, I was showered, dressed, clear. I drove home. Her car was in the driveway. The house smelled like bacon. At the table, plates set, coffee poured, a paper napkin folded the way she had seen in videos. Jenna was sitting with both hands around her mug. No makeup, no costume. I messed up, she said before I sat. Yes. I thought I was being cute. You were being loud. She swallowed. When you walked out, it hit me. It wasn't a bit for you. It was me, making you the bit. I'm sorry. I'm done being material. I didn't touch the bacon. This isn't negotiation. I know. She reached for a plate, then stopped. Eat later. Talk first. Talk now. I sat across from her. There are new rules. They're not up for debate. Okay. 1. No personal jokes in public. None. Not gentle. Not sly. 0. Done. 2. Separate cars to group things. If the line even smells close, I leave. No scene, no explanation. I'm gone. I understand. 3. We shrink the social circle by half for the next 2 months. My picks first. No blending coworkers with neighbors. No mixing my dad with your team. Stop stacking rooms so you can perform. She winced once. Okay. 4. We stop hosting. No more open houses. If you want connection, we do dinner with 2 people at a time. Okay. She let out air slowly. You're serious. 5. If you take another shot at me in a room, I will call it out, and then I will remove myself for as long as I choose. Not hours. Weeks. You'll be by yourself. Her eyes lifted to mine, steady. I hear you. And 6. Your apology this morning is a start. It's not a reset. You'll have to show me a different pattern. I will. She pushed the plate toward me. Please eat anyway. I lifted the bacon with my fingers and set it back down. Later. She nodded. You sleeping at home tonight? That depends on today. She flinched, just a little. What do you need from me? Call your dad, your coworkers, whoever you felt the need to impress. Tell them you got carried away and you're changing how you talk about your husband. You don't have to grovel. You have to be clear. I can do that. You'll also send a message to last night's group. Thanks for coming. I crossed a line. I won't be doing that again. No winks, no emojis. Okay. She took a breath. I'll do it now. She did. I watched her type, saw her delete an exclamation point, add a period. She read it out loud, then hit send. What else? She asked. Nothing else today. I'm going to the shop this afternoon. Tonight we'll eat at the diner. 1 hour. Then home. No detours. Okay. She reached across the table. I didn't take her hand. She let it rest on the wood for a second, then pulled back. Around lunchtime, Alicia texted me. Are you okay? Want me to talk to her? I replied, no third parties. We're handling it. At the shop, Marcus looked up from under a hood. You good? Better. I told him about the breakfast, the rules, the messages she sent. Think she gets it. She'll get it or she'll be alone. He wiped his hands. You need me to run interference at the next thing? I won't need interference. I'll need an exit. We changed a filter. Quiet work. That evening at the diner, Jenna didn't act like a stage. She sat, ordered simple, and kept her voice low. I called my dad, she said. He said he loves you and he understood. He told me I get excited and push lines. He didn't make excuses for me. That stung. Good. I also told Kelly. She said, it's about respect, not jokes. She was kind about it. She's smart. I'm going to delete some posts. She looked at me, searching. Old captions. Pictures where I used you as a punchline. I don't want that out there anymore. You posted captions about me? Little ones, she admitted. Just lines. She paused. I didn't realize it had stacked up like that. I leaned back. You realized enough to build a pattern. She nodded. You're right. She stirred her coffee and didn't drink it. I want to fix it. You won't fix it with the right sentence. You'll fix it by not needing the room like oxygen. What if the room is my job now? You know that part. They expect me to be quick. Be quick about yourself. I lifted my chin toward the window. Leave me out. She almost smiled at that. Noted. We kept it short, paid, went home. That night was quiet. We didn't dramatize it. She slept. I watched the ceiling until 2, then drifted. Over the next weeks, I did what I said. We drove separate to a neighbor's barbecue. It stayed respectful. The following weekend, Jenna asked if we could stop by a friend's house, the friend with a reputation for spicy talk. I agreed with one condition. If the tone shifts, I'm gone. Understood. At the house, 10 people circled the kitchen island. It started light. 20 minutes in, a neighbor made a jab at me about being old school with schedules. Before I could answer, Jenna stepped in. Not tonight, she said to the room. We don't do that with Jack anymore. The words landed. A few people blinked. The neighbor muttered something like, okay, okay. I watched Jenna instead of them. She held my eye for a second. No smirk, no performance, then turned back to the chips. That was the first time I believed she might be learning. But patterns don't change in a week. A small test came after. One of her co-workers brought up the bowling night with a smile and said, that toast was brave. Jenna glanced at me. I reached for my keys and stood without a word. She caught my sleeve. Stay? I hear you. Are you sure? I'm sure. I sat back down. The co-worker, sensing the current, switched the subject. We stayed 20 more minutes and left on our clock. In the truck, Jenna broke the quiet. You were really going to leave. I meant what I said. I know. She looked out the window. Thank you for giving me the chance to stop it. I made no speech. I didn't draw her a map. I just drove. A week later, at Marcus's garage poker night, my place, my people, Jenna asked if she could join for an hour. She'd never asked before. She stuck to small talk, listened more than she spoke, and when Marcus joked about my habit of labeling storage bins, she laughed softly and shook her head. Careful, she told him without bite. He labels because he cares about not losing things. It's one of the things that works. Marcus raised his hands. Yes, ma'am. Alicia nudged me later. She's different. Or trying to be. Trying is a start, Alicia said, then whispered, but keep your line. I will. 2 months out, we met Kelly and her husband for dinner. Midway through, the conversation drifted to embarrassing stories. The old pattern would have put me on the grill. Jenna kept herself out of it by choice. Kelly prodded her. Jay, tell them the thing about the shelf. Jenna shook her head. Nope. Different policy now. Kelly looked surprised, then smiled at me. Good policy. And then, a small slip. Outside, by the cars, Jenna almost tripped over a curb. I reflexively reached out and caught her elbow. She laughed and said, see, that's why I keep him around. I didn't smile. I set her back on her feet and waited. She saw my face, ran the line backward in her head, and corrected herself. That's not it. I keep him around because he's my husband and I respect him. And I'm still figuring out better words. We both knew I could have left right there. I didn't. I chose the other consequence, distance. For the next 2 days, I cut conversation to basics, bills, schedules, appointments. No soft extras. She noticed. On the 3rd evening, Jenna sat across from me at the table with our calendar again. You're quiet. I am. I earned it. You did. I hate it. Then don't earn it again. She nodded slowly. We're hosting no one for the next month. Only one-on-one plans. Your pick. Finally, we agree. We kept to it. The house stayed still. The quiet wasn't cold. It was clean. By the time my dad visited again, the air had shifted. He sat on my porch with me, a glass of iced tea sweating onto the armrest, and watched Jenna water the lawn without inserting herself into our talk. "You handled it," he said, not asking. "I handled me. That's all you can do." He looked at the driveway. "She looks lighter. You do too." "I set rules I could live with," I answered. "And I meant them." "You left your own party," he said after a beat. He smiled like it was both crazy and correct. "I didn't think you had that in you." "I didn't either," I admitted. "Now I do." We clinked glasses without a speech. Here's what changed after that, in simple terms. We sold the noise. Not literally, but close. I turned down the open invite lifestyle and poured time into what I could touch. The shop with Marcus on Saturdays. A small deck project in the backyard that I actually finished. Early mornings with coffee that stayed hot, because I wasn't running out the door to a room I didn't want. I upgraded my old pickup's brakes and started planning a hunting trip with my brother again. The kind where the point is the quiet, not the photos. Work picked up. I got my team through a deadline without drama. My phone buzzed less. My head did too. Jenna learned to choose. At first, it was awkward. She'd catch herself, start a line, and kill it mid-sentence. She'd look at me for a read, and I'd give her none. Then she didn't need my face to decide. She cut her own lines before they formed. She made new kinds of jokes that didn't use anyone as the punch. Some were actually good. Every now and then, a new person would test it. A neighbor would say something like, "Isn't he the guy who times his fun?" And Jenna would answer, "He respects his time." We both do. No edge. No apology. It was a small thing that carried weight. Rooms adjust when the person who fed them stops feeding them. Do I love her? That never changed. Did I think about ending it? Yes. In that hotel off the highway, with the air unit rattling louder than sense, I meant it. I would have walked, because I won't live where I'm the joke. That thought didn't scare me. It steadied me. We kept it small for months. We still do. We added pieces back carefully. Dinner at a friend's. A weekend drive to the lake, not posted anywhere. A movie night where the only commentary was about the movie. The house got quieter, and the rooms got kinder. No speeches, no vows. Just repeated behavior, turning into a new normal. She still gets the itch to be quick. I still get the itch to correct the world. We handle our own itches. If she slips, I don't lecture. I stand, I take my keys, and the silence that follows is the kind of silence we both understand. It hasn't lasted longer than a block drive in months. A few weeks ago, we were at a small backyard dinner at Marcus and Alicia's. Someone asked how we were. Jenna said, "We shrank the circle and found each other again." That was it. No joke. No bow. I looked at her and saw a different kind of attention in her posture. Not chasing a room. Choosing a person. If you're wondering whether the marriage got better, yes. Better than the loud season. She's more gentle. I'm more certain. We run our house, not our audience. And I won't pretend I didn't have a plan B, because I did, and it's the reason we have plan A now. I was ready to walk for Real. That's not drama. That's a man knowing his line. I tell this to you like I'd tell it to a friend at a bar. I didn't win by being nicer. I won by deciding I was done being funny against my will. I set rules I could keep and stayed willing to act when they were tested. She adjusted because the old game stopped paying. The birthday? We don't speak of it much. She kept one souvenir. It's a little paper cup from that night, cleaned and set at the back of a cabinet. She showed it to me once, quiet, and put it away again. "A reminder," she said. "Good. We can both use one. And if you're still searching for a tidy lesson, here's mine. Love is fine. Respect is oxygen. Cut off the jokes, and we both learn to breathe again."